So I don't think you can change that part of human nature. What you can do is you can make kids resilient against it. And the way you do that is by giving them a great education so that they know that they have potential. And the other thing is to give them business models, role models, and opportunities within their own neighborhood. You know, black men who are running barbershops, who are running bars, who are running dance studios, who are running local businesses, restaurants, etc., and who are part of that community. And you know, when I was a kid, my uncle was the first Irish Catholic president of our country, and when he ran for president, there was a tremendous resurgence in anti-Catholic sentiment in this country, and a resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan. I remember crosses being burned when I was a kid against an anti-Catholic president. I was called a Mick, a mackerel snatcher, all these anti-Catholic slurs when I was a kid. And it never bothered me. If somebody called me that, I would think that guy's got a problem. But I didn't think I have a problem. And that because I had a great education, I had a family who loved me, I had role models in my country, I had confidence in my own future. Oh, you know, those kind of things had no impact on me. And that's the kind of resilience that we want to give the Black American children, so that they have so much confidence in their own future that when they do encounter the inevitable racism, that it will bounce off them, that they'll be, you know, like the Avengers, they'll be immune to it. And then we don't have to stop racism altogether, because we're never going to be able to do that, but we can have children that are not affected by it, that don't internalize it, that don't see it as their problem. They see it as the person whose race is problem.
I am just tired to hear people like RFK Jr., a white privileged man that was born on a silver spoon, telling us black people to be mean, to be resilient to racism by getting education. What education has to do with racism? No matter how much education you have, if somebody is discriminating you, that has nothing to do with your education level. No matter how degree you have, they're still going to discriminate you. So you just put yourself down and say, you know what, I'm resilient. I'm immune to racism. I know it doesn't bother me. It's going to bother the person doing it. Really, RFK Jr.? Really? Is that what you have to tell those black people standing there? And I'm ashamed of them, those people, if they didn't even walk out or cast him out and leave. How are you going to sit down and somebody telling you to erase, to forget, to be resilient about racism? So you're trying to tell us, black people, that we should not talk about racism. We should not point what we see racism toward us. So we should be resilient to erase it. Come on, guys. Racism exists. I don't care what anybody say. But a white man telling us to send our kid to get education so they can be immune, so they can be resilient to any racism, criticism coming toward them. RFK Jr., did you face racism? Have you ever faced racism when you go to the bank asking for a loan? Have you ever faced racism when you're going to look for a credit card, a simple credit card? Have you faced racism when you're going to look for a job? Or maybe when you're in a job and you cannot get promoted. Have you faced that? No, you have never faced that. So how can you tell someone who has faced that to erase it, to be mean to it, to be resilient and say it doesn't exist, it doesn't bother you? Of course it's gonna bother you. I don't care how much education you have. So just stop the bullshit of saying oh, we're gonna give this kid, black people can give their kids education and they be able to erase racism, to immune to racism, to be resilient to racism. That is not gonna bother them. That's not right. Your father was a Christian, your uncle were Christian, very Christian Catholic. They stood for people's rights. Even though they were rich, but they stood for people's rights. And I don't even know who raised you, because your behavior and your thinking ability is not a thinking ability of your uncles. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And when you see racism, you gotta point it out. Don't let anybody, any privileged white man tell you that you should be immune to it or be resilient to it and just accept it. Really? Share this video so we can inform people that we as black people, we should not be resilient or immune to racism.